Thank you for coming tonight. We had, really, we hadn't done any nights out for the last couple of years. So, glad to have so many of you out here this evening. Before I pass on, if you have any questions, feel free to ask. It's a good sized group, pretty informal. We have some handouts out here if you want to come up and grab a couple. But I want to pass it over to Jessica Simler, who is our sophomore through senior counselor for the middle of the alphabet. But like I said, I just want to thank you guys for coming and out tonight. And we'll stick around afterward. If you have any questions, feel free to ask. And if you can't get the right answer, we'll try to get the right answer. So here's Jessica.
Hello, good evening, welcome. Where do we start? There's so much information. As juniors, rising seniors, it can be overwhelming. So we will try to give you as much information that we can now, and we know there's going to be a lot of questions in the future. Let me first say that Google Classroom class of 2023, your child should be on it because that's where we send out all registration info. Any scholarships that become available, they're posted on there. Any information we are pushing out through that classroom. So this will be on there, so you can click on the links that are on it. We just wanted to kind of have some talking points with it. But anything and everything is posted on that classroom. So if you haven't been invited by your child, tell them to invite you so you can get the emails with the information also, okay? So while we're talking about emails, students don't like to check their emails. And, I don't know about you all, but I live in a world of emails where I'm constantly checking and trying to respond. And, that's how our conversation and our communication has gone to, especially with all this pandemic. So if your child is not checking their emails, they might not be getting the scholarships posted, the information about registration, colleges, college visits, what have you. So if you just happen to say, hey, let me look at your email on your Chromebook, you might see 1,000 unread messages. That tells you they're not checking emails, okay? So we have tried to stress it, but some kids still are not. So hopefully it's not your child. But anyways, that is the bulk of our communication, okay? So we're just gonna go start going over this checklist. Some things to know about applying. So with the class of 2023, we're kind of in a little limbo area right now because the colleges, they started with this test optional to where students didn't have to take the SAT or the ACT for admission requirements. So while that is still the case, we don't know what's going to happen in the next year. Is it optional or not? And the thing is, all the universities aren't uniform. So IU might say test optional. All State might say you have to take the SAT or ACT. So what we suggest is have your child pick out their top 5 schools. There might be a couple more they're interested in. But look at the admission requirements on the website. Do your research. Make sure that you know what is required for admission. And if they do require the SAT or ACT, then you go ahead and sign up for one. The ACT tests are offered through June. So the summer, most of the summer, the latter part of the summer, they are not offered, and then they'll start back up in September. So, yes.
Do you know when it's going to be here, the SAT this spring? We have a date yet?
March 2nd? March 2nd. Yeah. And Ms. Eisner will speak a little bit more about that. I don't want to speak for her on that, but all the juniors will take that. And then next year, the ACT will be offered for seniors, which would be your class. And 200 have been able to test in the past, so it's a sign-up thing. So we definitely recommend that. So the link that we posted here from the U.S. News, when you click on that, it's a little brief video, just some information that we've come across. I found that site, there are multiple articles about different things, so you can Google, comparing a 2-year technical, 4-year, whatever, there's all kinds of things that come up. So there's just been a lot of stuff on the news about college and how things have changed. So I wish that we could say it's this, this, and this is what your child needs to do, but it's just, it varies for every university, okay? Comparing 2-year versus 4-year college, you know, the trades have kind of come up a little bit in popularity because of the debt for college. So we definitely recommend looking into different options besides a 4-year school. You know your child, you know what's going to be the best plan for them. So it's just a good comparison of the different schools and what's going to be best for your child. So we suggest you check that out. I actually just got an email before we started this from one of my senior parents. She's like, do you have something that can kind of help my kid figure out what he wants to be? Well, here you go. YourFreeCareerTest.com, that first link is awesome. I love it. I can't even remember who told me about it, but when you go to it, it has like I think there's 60 question quiz of sorts. It just asks you questions, and when you answer it, you get a summary of, based on your answers, business is a strong field of interest for you. So it kind of breaks it down, and then it'll tell you related careers, and then you can look up the career. It'll tell you how much money you can make, how much schooling you need. It's all there. So it is a great tool. I recommend it a lot for my kids. So if your child is kind of lost, not real sure what they want to do, or they want to make sure that, you know, I want to be a nurse, well, you know, have them do it and see if that comes up in their area of interest. And then preparing for college, I'm going to let, do you want to go ahead and talk? We're going to let,
Signing up for 2 of these today?
yes, but you don't have to talk much. Okay, this is Carly Keeler Lynch. She is our Ivy Tech contact person. She's phenomenal. She is here on Thursdays, every Thursday in the building. So if we have any students that have questions about dual credit classes, we have a lot of seniors that do half days and they'll take a course at Ivy Tech. She helps get them enrolled. She's just been fantastic and very helpful for me because I was supposed to be doing a lot of that stuff, and now she's here, so I don't have to. But she is our resident person for dual credit. So how we kind of approach it right now, if you have any questions, we typically forward them on to her if it's something that we can't answer. So now she's the face with the name. So I don't know if you can touch on opportunities for summer.
I sure
In
can.
the ICC.
Absolutely.
Maybe get mine.
Thank you. Okay, so great news. Ivy Tech, because of COVID and everything else going on, we are offering free classes to our students this summer, which is a great opportunity. So if you are ever interested in taking classes, working towards a certification, please come see me. I'm your girl. We'll be getting a list of students who are recommended and are like up for taking classes, and I can help reach out to those students as well. But it's a really great opportunity, especially it's only an 8-week session over the summer, so it is short, sweet, to the point. If your kiddo doesn't work yet or they're just not super involved, this is a great opportunity for them to take something. They can take it to be working toward a certification, or they can just be taking a class to see if they like something, if they're interested in something. I was going to say, a lot of people get confused about what dual credit actually is. So if your student is sitting in a dual credit classroom, it means that they are not only getting high school credit for that class, but they also have an opportunity to get that class for college credit. Ivy Tech is wonderful. We work with every school in the state. We train them very, very well to in-state schools. I would say it really just depends on the school that you're going to. U of L, Western Kentucky, a lot of schools in Kentucky have been very open to our credits, so that's also great news. But I can't guarantee that all of your classes are going to transfer. However, a lot of them, if they don't transfer in as like a general class, they can transfer in as an elective class. So all of our teachers here that teach dual credit, they are certified to teach dual credit. So they have a master's degree in their study of the field, and they are ready to help our students learn at a college level.
Carly, you can
Yes.
kind of give them an overview of the ICC.
Okay.
Sure.
Sure. So I have a paper out on my table out by the auditorium that talks about our Indiana College Core. You have probably heard about this. It's been called all different things. It was called the SDGC, it was called the 430, it was called the College Ready Core. name, the Indiana College Core. So basically what it is, it's a block of 30 hours that our students are taking while they are in high school, all general education classes, and it's a public law. The schools in Indiana have to accept that block of education. So that means for your students, they are starting as a sophomore in college. So like if you're going to IU, you start as a sophomore, you can take your car on campus, you are skipping out on all of your general studies classes, and you're jumping into your major classes. A lot of our students use this in different ways. Not only are students just graduating a year early from college, a lot of students want to minor or double major in something, so that allows them to do that in 4 years. If you have a student athlete who wants to stay in school for 4 years for eligibility, instead of them taking 18 hours a semester, maybe they're only taking 12 or 13. So our students use this in very different ways. With the Indiana College Core, there's 6 buckets, I call them. But you have like English classes, you have science classes, you have math classes, and you have to get one class from each of those buckets. It totals up to 30 credit hours. So that's kind of confusing, but I promise I have a worksheet that you can check off and it's not so confusing. Most of our students are taking those classes their junior and senior years. They might start with Spanish or French or things like that when they're a freshman or sophomore, but the majority of the classes that they're taking are junior and senior level classes.
Yeah, that's good.
Okay.
Thank you. You're welcome.
So one thing I can tell you is we have tried very hard to communicate with kids that are close to getting the ICC, or maybe as they were starting junior year, we said, hey, you have to take AP Comp to get the certificate and you're signed up for English 11 Honors. Are you sure you don't want to move to AP Comp? If you ask your kid, chances are, we had a conversation with them if they're sitting in English 11 Honors. We try very hard to make sure that they're on the right path and that's going to benefit them, but some kids just chose not to. So if you have a kiddo that's in a situation like that where they might be a class or two, or you want us to just look into it and see if there's a way that they can get it, then have them email us, or you can email the counselor and we can look into it and see how close they are and see if it's still possible. With Ivy Tech offering those summer classes, I mean, you can't beat that. You know, take advantage of that while you can. So we think it's a great opportunity. We're in full support of this ICC. You know, we meet with kids every day, and I don't know if I'm going to stay in Indiana. You know, I'm looking at schools in Tennessee. Look at it as an insurance policy. Go ahead and get that Indiana College Core, and if you can use it, if you end up staying in Indiana, you save yourself a year. If not, then you still have dual credits that you can transfer. So that's how we're trying to encourage it. We've got a lot of kids that are on path, so we're pretty excited about it. So if you have more questions, I know Carly had to go down to the auditorium, but she will be set up down there so you can ask questions, or you can feel free to email one of us and we can forward it on to her. So I'm gonna let Ms. Eisner talk.
All right, guys, I'm Ms. Eisner. I'm a counselor as well as the testing coordinator for the school. So chances are you or your student has heard from me for some reason in their time here so far. First, I'm going to kind of go out of order, but on your worksheet, you've got a line that says parchment. That website right there is where your student needs to build an account and link it to Floyd Central. And that's where they're going to order their transcripts to be sent to any college, NCAA. If the scholarship committee requires it, that's where they're going to order them. And it'll show a fee, but it's free. It will cancel that out. It is digital. Mr. Clark uploads them every day as we get them, so do not panic if you see an old transcript that's not updated or whatever. That's not going to be what is sent. We always make sure to send the newest, most updated information through parchment. If there's an issue, your student can come to the counselor and show us what's going on. It's much easier to fix the problem looking at it than trying to email back and forth of, I can't do this, or it won't let me link this. So just come down and let us know, but that's how all of the colleges are going to want to receive the transcripts. They don't want a printed out copy brought over to them. They're not going to want us to email them. they want your student to order them through parchment. And that way it'll go straight through and be an official transcript. Next, talking about college visits. I understand this spring is kind of when the college hunt begins in a very serious way to see kind of narrowing down. They are allowed to excuse absences for college visits as juniors. All you need to do is go to Miss Crane. She's in the attendance office. She has a planned absence form, and they'll get teachers to sign it, turn it in, so we know that. And then the colleges know they're missing school. They will send back with you a note from the college that stamped and said so-and-so was here on this day. So all you need to do is bring that back, give it to Miss Crane the next day when they return, and that absence will be excused, and they'll be able to make up all the work that was of whatever day you all went. And you get 2 of those. Yes.
Are these visits, are they like escorted or they just sit to do something?
It's up to whatever you set up with the school. If you're there just to meet with admissions and you don't schedule a tour or something, they will be able to provide you with the documentation as well. But we don't have an expectation of, it has to be an official all day kind of thing. It's whatever your interest is and whatever the school offers, especially as everywhere is doing COVID a little differently. So whatever you need to do to explore those colleges, we'll work with you on it. For the NCAA, the short and sweet is make sure your student, if they are intending on playing at Division I or II, they need to be in the NCAA Eligibility Center. Just Google it. They'll have to sign up and give all the information, and that will get them started on that process. You need to do it now if they haven't already done it. Mr. Clark, he's hiding in the back in the blue, is our go-to man for all NCAA questions after that. So have your student find him or email him those questions. We also have the NCAA Eligibility Center High School portal. Just Google that. That will show all of the classes that are NCAA eligible. So if you put our school code in, 152503, or you can just search the name, it will highlight all the classes we offer and what category they fill, whether it's a social science, a natural science, etc. Because the NCAA is very picky about what counts for what. There is no wiggle room at all with the NCAA. So if you have any questions or are uncertain of something, ask Mr. Clark. And then I'm sure what probably most of you are here for is the SAT that will be given in March to all juniors. It is their graduation qualifying exam. So I-STEP is gone. The SAT will now be given to the entire junior class on one day. I know we said March 2nd. Our window is March 2, 3, or 4. We're hoping to do it on the 2nd, allowing the 3rd and 4th to be makeups for anyone that was absent. But I don't know. We're on the river. It could snow. Who knows? So, but those are our 3 days. And we will set it as the whole class will take it at once. It's not I want to take it on Thursday. I want to take off. No. We will set a date and let everybody know what that is once the district agrees. And then if they are out for whatever reason, we will have makeups in April. And that'll be the 13th, 14th, and 15th. Same thing. We will know who didn't test in March. We'll contact and make sure those students know they will be taking the SAT on that makeup date. So don't panic if they cannot make it. I know there are already surgeries scheduled. Who knows what COVID and quarantine are. We have makeups. Yes, ma'am.
So they don't need to go online and do anything ahead of time?
At this point, no.
Okay.
There is a big meeting happening on the 31st that will give all the registration information and whatever steps we need to relay to students or what we need to do. But for right now, your students are already signed up already know all the juniors are going to take it. You don't have to opt into anything or sign up right now. They may need personal information down the road, but they're waiting until the 31st to even release that information. So we have 1 month to figure it out. So for right now, just sit back and know your kid's gonna be taking the SAT this year. We do not, yes. Mr. Siscoff.
I'm asking. She prepped me. Are you all gonna do any, are there any prep classes within the school other than before that?
We are adding SAT material prep into English and math classes, but specifically a SAT prep course. We don't have anything scheduled for that. There are many options out there, but it's typically much easier for individuals to find something that works with their schedule than us trying to bring someone in and then figure out who all can make it. So you are more than welcome. If you look back at your kids' PSAT scores, they should link to Khan Academy and tell you what they struggled with, what they excelled in, and that is built to be used to prep for the SAT. So they have Khan Academy links through College Board, and it is personalized to your students' PSAT scores from last year. So if you have a student that is diligent and has some extra time to practice, that's something they can do. If you need any questions on guiding like PSAT and stuff, we can get you there, but the best thing to do is College Board, SAT, they have test prep on there, they have practice test materials, all kinds of things, as well as the link to Khan Academy. It is free, no payment, nothing like that. For students with accommodations, whatever accommodations they have that have been approved through College Board will be approved for this as well, because College Board owns everything.
Not ACT, you may want to tell them not ACT.
Oh, ACT is the standalone loaner. That is the ACT success.org. Everything else, PSAT, SAT, and AP are all owned by College Board. So this semester we are focused on College Board at school. This test will be able to have scores sent to colleges, or if they want, they can take it again, but that will be through a Saturday test on the national test dates. As a senior, they will not be able to take the junior SAT in school. So if you want to improve that score for a scholarship or whatever, you will have to register on your own for a national test date, which is on Saturdays. We don't offer it here at Floyd Central. We don't know cut scores yet. I don't know when we will know cut scores. So it's a do your best and we will see how it goes, because Indiana has not figured out how they're going to decide on those cut scores. So I can't even tell you a guess of where they need to get to pass. So that is the SAT. It'll be on Chromebooks. It will be digital for everybody, so they will be using their own device. And I think that's it.
That's the same thing, right?
Brand new, first time. So, it will be shorter, but it'll be on the Chromebook like all their other standardized tests really have been, with the exception of AP. It saves, and then we either charge it or get another Chromebook, and it puts them back to where they left off. We have been testing on Chromebooks for standardized state testing for 3 years now, and it is.
No.
We have made
We have
it
issues
through
with Chromebooks as well.
all the time. We have lots of extras and lots of outlets. So, questions? Yes.
So they take it as juniors, and that counts, so, and then why do they take it as seniors? Would that be too late for like college applications and stuff, or?
If the spring one that's here is too late, yes, but they offer a late summer and an early fall SAT date that in theory, is supposed to get scores back to colleges before the application deadline. So that's what those Saturday test dates are, because it will roll into summer and early fall.
Okay.
What are both the application dates? Are they in the fall?
Our big heavy day to make sure everything is in is November 1st. Right, Mr. Clark?
Yes,
Okay.
November 1st.
That is the bulk of them. You need to look through between early action, early decision, all of those vary by school, but November 1st is our big day to make sure we have all the Common App stuff turned in, all the letters of recommendation are finished, because it closes that night. So, yes.
Let me just say one thing. That is to ensure that if your son or daughter qualifies for automatic scholarships, then November 1st is a hard, fast date for schools in the state of Indiana. And you can apply after that date, but you're not necessarily eligible for any automatic scholarships. So that's why everything needs to be, at least one test score needs to be in by November 1st. You may take another SAT or an ACT to improve your score and get it in by January 15th, but the initial date is November 1st.
Any other questions? Yes.
Brady, is the ACT typically in September
It
here?
is, yes, it is either the very last week
Right.
before fall break or the first week we come back from fall break.
Okay,
Because it depends on where they set the standard date and then the alternate date,
okay,
because we dance right in between there with our fall break.
okay.
So we will do signups at school
Right,
for the ACT in August.
right.
Like a couple weeks into school, the ACT signups will be announced. And that's what Ms. Simler was talking about, 200 slots. And once it's full at 200, it's full. So, any other questions? Okay. If you have any random questions that come up later, feel free to email me. I'm Brittany Eisner, school counselor and testing coordinator, but I will not have any more information specifically until after January 31st, after that big meeting. And who knows, I may answer them all when I share the information that I have. All right. Mr. Clark.
I have a big mouth, so I won't use the microphone. I'd like to introduce, I guess, there's a new resource in Southern Indiana for students who may struggle with eating disorders. And this is Dorothy Hickerson from Salem House in Jeffersonville, and she's just going to introduce what Salem House offers, and we welcome her. So thank you.
Can all of you hear me?
Would you like the microphone? Here you go.
You have to hold it kind of close to you.
Now, can all of you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. All right, so thank you very much for having us here tonight. My name is Dorothy Hickerson. I am the clinical practice director at Salem House. Salem House is an outpatient program. As Mr. Clark mentioned, we are located in Jeffersonville, Indiana. Are you familiar with it? Right behind the Menards. We are a new service here in Jeffersonville, but Salem House is part of Odyssey Behavioral Health. We have facilities all over the country. I don't know if there are any students. Do we have any students in this group? No, okay. So parents, Salem House, as he mentioned, is a program designed to treat primarily eating disorders in clients. But what we know is that eating disorders are not the primary disorder. They usually are accompanied by other co-occurring disorders. That's depression, anxiety, PTSD, something else is usually going on that triggers the eating disorder. We also know there are no eating disorder resources here in Southern Indiana, nor are there in Kentucky. So that is why Salem House came here. We service not only people in Clark County, we go all the way up I always confuse it, it's either Salem or Seymour. But because there are no significant resources in Kentucky, we service down in Kentucky to the west, all the way to Lexington. So, doesn't matter where you live, we can still service you. There is a Selah House that you may have heard of in Anderson, Indiana. Selah House Anderson offers inpatient, residential, and partial hospitalization. Our program is what we call an outpatient program. It services, right now, clients 16 and older, and we have an intensive outpatient program and a partial hospitalization program. That intensive outpatient program is 3 hours a day. It starts out, the traditional version is 3 days a week. We can recommend clients for 3, 4, 5 days a week for the intensive outpatient. 3 hours a day, they get programming that is about groups designed to treat eating disorders and co-occurring disorders. They get one individual therapy session a week, and we have a registered dietitian who does snacks or lunch depending on which day they attend. That's for our intensive outpatient program. If you have a higher level of need, your kids have a higher level of need than they are referring to us, the partial hospitalization program is a little more intense because those clients have more intense needs. That program is 5 days a week from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. Okay? They get groups all day long, just like they do with the other program. They get 2 snacks a day and a lunch a day that is coordinated based on an individualized nutrition program developed by our registered dietitian who sees them once a week for follow-up. They get medical stabilization. We have an RN on staff, and we have a psychiatric nurse practitioner on staff who not only provides psych eval, other medical services, she can prescribe medication if necessary. Those clients get 2 therapy sessions a week, and they get pretty intensive services, okay? What we've learned is that people like to stay close to home. And so we can offer that service here. What I will tell you is as a parent, as a grandparent, guardian, friend of a student, if you see a child, I call them all children, you see a client, potential client, you see a teenager, or one of your children's friends that you have concerns about, please don't hesitate to reach out to us. We want those young people because both of our programs serve 16 and up right now. We will hope to open an adolescent program in the next 6 to 12 weeks that will service ages 12 to 18. Okay? So, a wide range of services. If you identify somebody that you have concerns about, reach out to them. Have your children and share this information with your student. Why? Because what we know is kids at this age, they don't talk to you. They talk to their friends. And so if your child, grandchild, whomever you have living at home with you, can come to you and say, Mom, I'm worried, then you can reach out to us. Your student can reach out to us. They can help their friend reach out to us. So we have a booth out there. I will be there. Our clinical liaison will be there. We have lots of information, including a QR code for the parent toolkit, which is a big document that gives you resources and information. We also have a QR code that links you to information specifically about Selah House that you can use, fill in your information. It goes directly to Teresa, and she will reach out to you. Okay? The admission process is not complicated. It involves a screening. The other thing that I forgot to tell the other group is as of right now, we are in network with Ncaa and with Blue Cross Blue Shield. We are continuing to add other insurances. We will do self-pay. We will do discounted rates, and we will do payment plans. We want clients to get the services they need. So we want cost to not be a barrier, if at all possible. Okay? So please, stop by and visit us, get some information. If you have questions, if you have concerns, please reach out to us. We want to be here to help. If we can't help you, we will help you get connected with somebody in the community that can. Okay? Thank you guys for your time. Thank you for taking the time to come out. I know as a parent, sometimes that's hard to find that time. But again, we want to be here to help clients through their journey. Okay? Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much. Thank you. Okay. And after this, the college financial planning meeting will be down in the auditorium. So we can help you get down there. And that was one thing that please next year, after October 1st, you can fill out the FAFSA. All right? Free application for federal student aid, and go to FAFSA.gov. If you go to FAFSA.com, they will try to charge you to fill out the FAFSA. So make sure you go to FAFSA.gov. Yes. After October 1st of a student's senior year, they go back. And it really does not take long to do, because you can do, so for this year, they're going on 2020 tax year for this school year, for the school year coming up. So they used to, you had to get your taxes done and then get all that filed for a lot of Indiana colleges and universities by March 15th. So you had to get your taxes, get them filed, and then use that information to do the FAFSA. Now, anytime after October 1st, you can do that FAFSA, and it goes back a calendar year on it. Because I guess the mindset is most people's income doesn't change. Please fill out the FAFSA if your child goes to any college or university. You think, oh, we're not going to qualify for them to get aid there. Yes, but maybe they want to work in the library after hours. All right? They can't do a work-study job sometimes if you don't fill out the FAFSA. So make sure you fill it out. You may get, just because you may not get federal student aid, you may get state aid. You may get institutional aid. So you want to fill that out, and it is not burdensome any longer. I sit there with my child when they go to college, they were on the phone with me and said, okay, we have an appointment, and it would all be done in about 20 minutes because they have an IRS retrieval method, so all your financial data just goes right in it. You say, okay, where are colleges and universities, and you can pick out about 10. And we will have a night next year in October to kind of review that. We've had several people do that. I forgot her name from Ivy Tech, but she did a very, very good job this past year. It wasn't dry and boring IRS talk. She did a nice job. She was pretty entertaining too. So you want to make sure that you do that after October 1st. So, and then you have to do it for certain things like 21st Century Scholars by October 15th of the student senior year, or excuse me, April 15th of student senior year. You have to do that for most Indiana colleges and universities, but everybody has a different deadline, so you need to make sure that you know where your student wants to go to do that. But I always just sat down in October with my kids and said, okay, here's where we are, this is what we're doing. Tell me what you answer your questions, because there is a student part and a parent guardian part. So I'm going to make sure you do that. Dr. Wilman is going to post the videos and papers and things like that by the end of the week. Once those videos get uploaded and get ready to go on YouTube, he will post those and send those out via email by the end of the week, so if you need that. Do you have any questions about what's going on and where the next step is? Right now, it's building that transcript still. Best GPA you can possibly get. Don't settle for a B if you can get a B+, because that's a couple more points on your transcript. Try to get the best grades you can in all your classes so you can be as marketable to whatever you want to do. And then, as a parent who's gone through with 2 kids, I encourage you to be honest and sit down and say, okay, here's our contribution for you to attend secondary ed, whatever that choice is. This is what we're going to be able to do, because it's okay for them to work. All right? I had one child that worked very hard and worked about 4 nights a week, and she really enjoyed that. Another that worked all summer and wouldn't spend a dime. He's like, son, he would duct tape his shoes. So it's like, son, we, that's why you worked all summer, to kind of, we can handle some things. So he wouldn't spend anything when he went to college. And we wanted him to be kind of the opposite. So, I've had 2 kids kind of go through it. So tell them, this is our contribution and this is where you're at, and we shouldn't, figure out where they're gonna go and kind of work together for that process. So, there's a lot of avenues. Anything else? Okay, like I said, the financial planning will be down in the auditorium, so you can go ahead. Anything else, Ms. Allen? All right, thank you guys very much. Appreciate you.